Hello. Last video we have discussed about what is Java, evolution of Java, and what is the need of Java, and basic terminologies which is used in Java programming language, and what is class, what is the syntax for class, and example for a class. Now we will continue with from what is object, then how we can create an object in a class, and how we can write a Java program and other concepts. So now I'll share the screen which have the PPT. Now, what is objects in Java? So normally in real world, we can see objects around us. For example, dog is an object, cats is an object, automobiles is an object. So like these kinds of object have a common state and a behavior. So already I told you, object is an instance of a class. So if you compare the software object with real world object in Java, they have some similar characteristics. So dog, cats, if you take, that is animals. So they have some similar characteristics. So a class provides, already we have discussed this also, a class provides the blueprint for objects. So how we can create an object in a class means in Java, one keyword is used to create an object. That keyword is called new keyword. I highlighted with red color. So in Java, the new keyword is used to create new object in Java. That means by using this new create, whatever the objects you are creating, that is a new object. So that new object should have a unique name. So if you have n number of 10 objects in your class, each and every object has unique name. Okay. So this word object is the important word in object oriented programming concepts. Okay. And it is used to represent real existence entities, real existent entities. Okay. So in average, Java program creates many objects. Okay, not one program should contain only one object. One program should contain only one class. No restrictions for that. That Java program, even though it is a simple Java program, if you feel also that Java program contains n number of classes and each and every class contains n number of objects. But what is the thing we are in need to take care is each and every object should be identified by unique name. Okay. So next we will discuss what are the things that object includes. For example, it includes mainly three. One is state. What is this state? Means it is represented by attributes of an object. For example, and also it is used to reflect the properties of an object. Properties of an object. Next one, behavior. Behavior means you keep it in your mind, it represents methods. Methods means, already I told you, in Java we use the keyword method instead of function. So behavior means it represents the means of methods of an object. Okay. It also reflects the reaction of the object with another object, how maybe it can communicate with another object, or what is the reaction it will do on other objects also will be represented by this behavior. Next, identity. Number of times I told you, if you can create n number of objects, each and every object should be unique. That uniqueness has to be taken care by this identity. Okay. Next. Now we will discuss one example about how we can create an object. How we can create an object. Already I told you this class student. This is my class. Student is my class. S should be capital. Don't forget. Next one, minimum 5 to 6 examples. I will tell you how to write class again and again. Then you will be familiar with the naming convention of a class. So class student is my class name. It should start with capital letter. So I have given S as a capital. Here I have taken some student ID as an integer. Next name should be in string. So next one, already you have known whatever the for example C programming language or C++ programming language, your business logic. Now here we will use in Java, we will use business logic. Normally your logic or your content of the program should be written inside one method. That method is called main method. Okay, main method. Like that, Java program also has one main method. That main method should be present inside any of the class. If you have only one class, not an issue, you can write the main method inside that class. If I have class student, I have class teacher, I have class library. These are the three classes in my Java program called college.java. In that situation, any one of the class should have a main method. Here one doubt can arise. Ma'am, each and every class should have a main method or not? No. If you have a Java program or Java application, anything, you should have only one main method which has to be present in any of the one classes, any of the one classes, so that any one class this main method should be present. Here my example, I have only one class, not an issue, so I have written my main method. Okay, so inside main method only I should create a object. Okay, because this class I am creating object, inside main method I can create an object. So how I have to create an object means, for example, for which class you are going to create a object, that class name should be written first. This is the syntax. Okay, I'm telling this line. Okay, so what is my class? Student is my class. So student, for that I'm going to create what? Object. So I should write the name of the object. Here just I'm writing S1 is the name of the object of a class student. So first you should write class name. Next you should write object name. Object name is S1 equal to, I told you, new keyword is used to create an object. So new, okay. Then you should write class name of. What is the class name? Student of. Ma'am, what is this of? What of means what? Brackets. Student of means this is called constructor. Later we will discuss about the constructor elaborately, but I'll tell you. You should write first class name, next object for that class name S1, S2, S3 or T1, T2, anything you can give. So S1 equal to new, same has to be repeated, new student of, new student of. Okay, so this is called constructor. Later we will discuss. Now you just understand how to create a class. After class name, you don't forget to put bracket, then it will not be accepted, it will show you error. So open bracket and, excuse me, open bracket and close the bracket you should give. Now immediately this S1 object will be created in your heap area. That memory will be divided into number of areas, heap area, memory area, like that. In that heap area, S1 will be created and that reference will be given for S1. Okay, student S1 equal to new student of. If you give, automatically this S1 will get some memory. This is an object. So it is an instance of a class. One is an instance or object of a class student. Object of a class student. Okay. So like this way you should create an object. In this way you should create an object. Okay. Next, we will discuss now a simple program, class program. Here I have created already few lines we have discussed, few lines we will add and we will make it as a simple program. Okay, so my classes, class student, if you want you can give public class student also. Okay, class student, again I'm telling S should be capital. Okay, next part of that class, what I told you, data members or fields. So here I am giving int id string name. Already in two examples we have discussed this. Okay, so this is familiar. here you see in the comment line, field or data member or instance variable. What is this instance variable? Just I will give an information about instance variable. Later we are going to discuss that variables also. What is this instance variable means? ID is a variable, int ID. ID is a variable, data type is int. Name is a variable, data type is string. So these two variables are the, if you see the location of these two variables, where is it is inside my student class. Is it correct? It is inside my student class, but outside the main method. Inside the student class, but outside the main method. Main method where I have written public static void main of string arguments. Okay, so this is my main method. My main method is here. After this, I have opened my body of the main method, but open braces, closed braces. My class body is what? Open braces, here closed braces. So the variables which are declared within the class, inside the class, outside the main method. Inside the class, outside the main method is called instance variables. Clear all of you? Again, I'm repeating the variables which are declared inside the class. Open braces is here, inside the class. But main method is starting here, but open braces is here. It is not inside main method. So outside the main method is called instance variable. Okay. So ID and name both are called instance variables. Okay. So next, now I am going to create an object. As usual, inside main method, we have to create an object for a class student, because here I have only one class. Whatever the object I am creating, I can create for this class only. So how you should start? You should start with the class name student. S1 is the object equal to new student of. Immediately I told you S1 object will be created in the heap memory. Next, I want to print this S1 object. Whatever you are giving, I have to print. For example, this S1 object, if you give, what are the two things are there variables? ID I have to give, name I have to give. So how I have to make a relationship between this variable and this object means by using dot operator. Dot means what? Point. By using dot operator. Already this regarding this dot operator you would have studied in your C and C++ where you have studied structure. Okay, how you can access the member of the structure. For example, ID means ID dot. Like that, here also you have to access the object variable with respect to your the given instance variable by using dot operator. If I want to, I have created S1 object for student, but I have to give the ID for that S1 object. I want to give name for that S1 object. How I have to give? Because ID and name, it is an instance variable common for class. So how many objects you are giving, these variables are common. ID and name will be common. You can't give ID1 name 1, ID2 name 2 for S1 S2. So that I can use this variable as a common variable, but it has to be accessed with respect to this object. How we can use? So my object name is S1. So S1 dot ID, S1 dot name. If you give this S1 dot ID is representing for S1. For example, ID is 1234, name is Karthi. Okay, my S1 object is having the ID 1234, name is Karthi. If you create student S2 equal to new student of, that time S2 dot ID 678, S2 dot name Harini. So S2 object is having the ID 678, name is Harini. Like that we can create n number of objects, but all objects can be accessed with the same variable name, but values are different. Okay, so that we are using dot operator. I think you can understand the use of dot operator. Okay, so that system dot out dot println. I'll tell you first this. You have studied in your, when you are writing C++ program, how you can write the output statement. printf, cout in C++. Like that, Java having own syntax to give the output statement, that is system.out.println. Ma'am, what is this println? Means new line. Ln is representing new line. Next line. There you will give /n. Here you can use ln. So two ways we can represent our output. One is system.out.print. Then open bracket, closure bracket. Inside the bracket, you have to write the statement what you want to print it on the console. Ln if you give, automatically it will go to new line character. That's all the difference. So system, here again I'm telling, already I told you the Java programming language is case sensitive, so that here these things you should take care when you are writing your program in a notepad and you are executing a program through command prompt. If next level, I will tell you that also. If you are using IDE, Eclipse means some of the syntax automatically it will come. That time no need to worry about this. Yes, O capital or small and all. But you should aware as a Java programmer, you should aware what are the keywords should come in capital letter and what are the things should come in small letters. So in our statement, the system.out.println, in first the word system, first letter should be capital. If you give small s system means that system that error we will get. So capital S, system.out.out is small, println and everything is small, only S is capital. System.out, ma'am, can I write capital S, capital Y, capital system completely in capital letters? No. First letter of the system should be in capital, remaining all are running letters. S1.id, already I told you the usage of dot operator. So S1.id if you give, when you are giving the input for ID 11 means you can see the output on the console 11, but here you see nowhere we have given the output, or that is another process. Just you understand how you have to use this dot operator. So system.out.s1.name, if you give Karthi means Karthi and 11 will be printed on your console. Clear? So this is the simple Java program. Okay, next I forgot to tell you what is this void. Normally in C++ you use int main of or void main of, that's all. But here you see public static void main of. Already I told you what is the usage of these words. I'll tell you. Public, because you know what is the usage of keyword public, private, protected, private, everything. So here the why we are using public means, for example, I told if n number of classes, if you have in your Java program also, any one class contains the main method. But whatever we are doing the task inside my methods, it has to be applicable for the class, depends upon our application. So that we have to use the modifier of this main method is public. Modifier of the main method is public, because here if you are creating, for example, here I have created class student. One more class I have class student 1 or class teacher. Here I am writing the object teacher T1 equal to new teacher of. Okay, so but this object is created for, the object is not created for this class. I am creating the object for other class which is in other body of the class, but I am accessing from this main method. So I am in need to give public. If you give private, it cannot be accessed. So public. Okay, static, we are going to represent about that static members. Later we will discuss about that more. Void, you know, then main method. Next, string arguments, why we have to use. In Java, everything we are considering as a string. Everything we are considering as a string. So for this string, you are passing one argument, two arguments, n number of arguments. So that string face args of. Ma'am, in same way we should write or not? No need. String open rectangle square bracket, then args you can write. Then string, after string you can use square bracket space args you can write. Anyway you can write. In further classes I will change and show you the examples. But S should be capital, that you should take care. Already I told you in string keyword S should be always capital. Okay, so this is about the simple Java program by using a class. Next, as usual, we will discuss about data types. Because if you take any programming language, these are the flows. First, we will discuss, because any small program also we are in need to use variables. Variables should be declared using data types. Okay, here we are going to discuss about data types. Okay, what is the use of the data type means it is used to represent different values which is to be stored in the variable. Okay, so for example, if you take Java program, there are two different types of data types. One is primitive data types, another one is non-primitive data types. Okay, primitive data types, we are going to discuss four groups. I'm telling four groups, 8 data type. For example, that int, whatever the integer variable, I have to put it in one group. Second group is whatever the floating variables, decimal point variables, I'm keeping in float group. Third one we are going to discuss, one is Boolean. Okay, you have known what is Boolean. Boolean means what? It has only two values. One is either false or true or false values. Okay, these are the thing. These three. Another one, already you are familiar with this three. For example, int, small int, long int. Then float, if you take float, double. Then Boolean, if you see bool or Boolean. But one more important data type we are going to use in Java, I can say it is a tiny data type, or which is a small data type, that is called byte. Okay, that is called byte. So these are the four groups which are going to discuss under primitive data type. Then what is non-primitive data type means string and arrays. String and arrays. These are called as non-primitive data types in Java. Okay, these are called as non-primitive data types in Java. Okay. Now, just now I told you byte, short, int and long data types are used for storing whole numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 10. So without decimal point, as a whole number, if you want to represent byte, short, int and long. The short, int, long and all already you are familiar. New one is called byte. That's all. Byte, short, int and long data types are used for storing whole numbers. Second one is what? Float and double. Okay, float and double. This is used for fractional number. Here I want to tell you one important point. When you are writing floating point number in your Java program, for example, I have declared float marks. I have declared float marks. When you are writing the marks, for example, marks 1 equal to 95.2, if I write, it is not valid. You should write marks 1 equal to float marks 1 I have given, marks 1 comma marks 2 comma marks 3 I have given. Now I have to give the values for this marks 1, marks 2, marks 3. That time when I am entering marks 1 equal to 92.5, marks 2 equal to 90.3, marks 3 equal to 85.2. You should not leave like that. Marks 1 equal to 90.3, F, then semicolon. So F letter you should use when you are declaring the variable as float. Okay, when you are using double means double marks 1, marks 2, marks 3 means you can just like that you can write marks 1 equal to 90.3, marks 2 equal to 80.5. Enough, no need of put D and all. If you are using float as a data type, your value should end with F. Your value should end with F. This you should take care. Next one is character. Okay, already I told the string is a non-primitive data type. Character means what? Char means it is a single character. Okay, A, just B, within a single quote you can give. So it is used for storing characters. Boolean data type is used for variables that hold either true or false. Okay, these are the primitive data type. Next, we will discuss one by whatever the topics we are going to discuss, one by one we will discuss the example also. First, I'll give you the example for primitive data type. For example, public class primitive Java. till whatever the example we have discussed related to class, if you see, I have written just a class student. But here I use public. Either you can use, or if you are not using, not your wish. But if you use, it is good. That's all. So public. So next example, I have given the difference. Just a public class primitive Java. My primitive Java is a class name. You observe here, I have written P in capital. Don't forget. Next, public static void main string argument, string of previous slide I have shown, args after args of that square bracket. Here if you see, after string I have given square bracket, any format it will, the system will accept, you no need to worry. So string, but here which one you should take care, means S should be in capital. Public static void main, all words are starting with small letters only, not capital letters. Args in small. Okay. Now between this two example, if you see, after class immediately I have given this variables, so that I told you, outside, sorry, inside the class, outside the main method, if you are declaring the variable, this is called instance variable. But in this example, if you see, after the class I didn't declare any variable, I have started directly my main method. Okay, so here I have declared my variable. So then what name we have to give for this variable? That variable already I told you, inside the class, outside the main method, if you give, that is called instance variable. But if you see here, inside my main method, I have written my variables. I have written my variables. Already you have known, inside the, here main method, main also a method. Inside the method, if you write any variable, that is called local variable. That is called local variable. So now my B, yes, I, all these variables are called as local variable because it has been declared inside the method. Inside here my method is main method. That's all. So inside the method, so B, S and I are called as local variable. Don't forget. So here I have given some variable and I have given values. I initialized some values to that variable. Byte is my first smallest data type. B equal to 100, short S equal to 1, 2, 3, I equal to 1, 2, 3, 5, 4 something. So long value, float, I told you na pa. So float value is my variable, but I have given the value for that float val. What is the value I given? 12.25, but I have ended with F. Okay, double value equal to D. This is for preference I have given. If you know, if you are not giving D also, it will be accepted. But if you are not giving X, F, this statement won't be accepted. So Boolean true, Boolean false, character char value equal to Y. I told you any single character within a single quote. Just I have declared and I have instantiated. That means I have declared the variable along with the values. Next, I have to print the values. Just this very simple program. Just I have declared with some values, variables with some values. Just I'm going to print on the screen. That's all. So what is the keyword which is used for printing? System.out.println. One more time I'll repeat. S should be in capital. S should be capital. So system.out.println of byte value plus B. Usually, if you write in C or C++, byte value, comma B we will give. B is used to represent what variable I use. Byte value within double quote, whatever you are giving, it has to be printed on the console. But here if you see in Java new thing, plus. Why we are in need of plus instead of comma? Already I told you when I told about this public static void main, everything here it is to be considered as string. String, if so, here this is one string and B is also a string. If you are going to concatenate two strings, what operator you use? Plus operator. So here plus operator is used as the concatenation operator between number of strings. So instead of comma, you should use plus here. That's why if you see later, anyway we are going to discuss. Now I'll tell you only one operator which is overloading, means this plus operator. This plus operator. Otherwise, Java doesn't support operator overloading, which was supported by C++. C++, that operator overloading is very good. But here, but one disadvantage is also is that to overcome the disadvantage, Java, when they developed Java, this operator overloading concepts they have not used. But only one exception case, only one operator which can be overloaded is plus operator, that is act as a additional addition operator and act as a concatenation operator between the strings. So whenever you are writing that comma in your, wherever you are writing comma in your C program, C++ program, here we should use plus, don't forget. Okay, so byte value plus b. For this statement, what is the output? You can see 100. What is the output? 100. So 100 will be printed on your screen. I'll type and show you. So output of this is 100. Okay, you know this double line, if you put after that whatever you are writing, that is comment line. Here also the same. Otherwise, more your comment line will be in more than one line, means you can use slash star ended with star slash. Okay, then short value plus s. Immediately, what is the short value? 1, 2, 3. So here you can see 1, 2, 3. Next, system.out.println int value. So what is the output? 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 3. So what is the output? You can see 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 3. Like that, you can see the values, whatever you have given here. Ma'am, here what is the value will come? For example, 12.25. Ma'am, you told F you have to give. So output also will come with F or not? No. This is the output you can get. Okay. Like this, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 outputs you can see on your screen. Okay. This is the example for simple primitive data type values. Okay. Next, non-primitive data type. Okay, what is this non-primitive data types? Means non-primitive data type which can be created by the programmer. Who is programmer? We. So it can be created by us. Okay, so string, array or non-primitive data types. String and array or non-primitive data type. We can create our own array and string. Okay, and also these non-primitive data types are called as reference variables or object reference because it refers the memory location where data is stored. Where data is stored. For example, array already you have known. When you create int a of 5 means immediately that the system which wherever the memory will be available, a of 5 means array int you have given, so 2 bytes. I'm telling in C. So for example, anywhere 1000 memory location is free means 1000 to 1010 it will be allocated for the array A. So like that, this also called as reference variable. For example, if I create an array in Java, like that 1000 is the initial location means it will be referred. Okay. On other type, primitive data type does not refer the memory location, directly it refers values. Example we have discussed. Okay. Next, string. What is the primitive first one? String. So what is string means? Normally string we can say data type, but in Java it is considered as a class. String is a class. That's why we have, I told that S always should be capital. So now you understand string is a class. Okay. It provided with several methods to store group of characters. Group of characters. For example, A, B, C, D, India 1, 2, 3, etc. String is not a primitive data type because it has methods and only class can have methods. Okay, string is having its own methods. For example, int, float, double underline doesn't have a method. Directly you will give values. But string if you give, later you are, in third module we will study about string, to string of method. Okay, to lower case of method, to upper case of method. Whatever the string if you give small abcd, it will be converted into capital abcd to upper case of. Okay, so the string contains method. If any data type contains method means it can't. So that the string is considered as a class. String is a class. So it is having its own methods, and user defined methods also can be used. So it is having its own methods, so that string is not a just like a data type, it is a class only, it has its own methods. Okay, so primitive data type cannot have methods, already I told you. So string is a class which is non-primitive type, non-primitive type. Okay, so the keyword string is used to represent string class. Example, when we are going to discuss the third module about completely about string, you can understand that how in different ways we can create a string, and by using string literals, by using new keyword like that. But here we will use this, how we have to create a string. I told you string is a class. If you have a class, definitely whatever you are creating, it is an object of the class. So you see here string yes. So now s is an object of the string class equal to world. This is called directly we are storing the literal on the string. So now your object of the string class s holds the value world, holds the value world. Okay. So now we will discuss just what is string. Again, I'm repeating, string is a class which has its own methods, and it is a non-primitive type. Okay, when you are going to create an object for a class, always you should use string, then name of the object as equal to world, means s is the object of a class string. Okay, next array. What is this? What is array? Array means, you know, it is a group of values which is having same data type. Okay, so here array is a non-primitive data type because it refers to the memory location. What is this refers to the memory location means? For example, if I'll create int a of 5, this a of 0 index, you know, that will hold the first memory. For example, 1000, so it represents that 1000. Automatically if you give a of 1, 1002, a of 2, 1004, like that it will extend. So that we are saying that this is a non-primitive data types which refers to the memory location. So we are familiar with the definition of array. Array is a collection of typed variables which are referred to by common name. Common name. Syntax is here little bit the compared to C, C++, syntax will differ. So I will tell you, first you should use as usual data type. There you will write int a of. Here we will write data type square bracket. You can change also, not an issue. Data type square bracket array reference variable. So shall we give a example? Data type I am using int. For example, square bracket array reference I am using a. So int of a, int of a. But you next step I will show you variables. Int of int of a you can use. Okay. Next, Java variables. Okay, variables means, you know, during the execution time, if the value will be changed, that is called variable. Okay, each variable in Java has a specific data type to store values. Int or if a, b, c, d or anything is considered as a variable, but you should represent the variable with respect to data type. What kind of data type? If you tell the data type only, memory will be allocated for that variable. Otherwise, memory cannot be allocated. So int a, if you give that a holds int data type. Okay, so automatically 4 bytes will be allocated, which decides the size and layout of the Java variables memory. Just now I told you. Variables can put away inside that memory, and the arrangement of activities can be connected to the variable. So just now we have discussed about two types of variables. One more we didn't discuss. Now we will discuss. There are three kinds of variables in Java. There are three kinds of variables in Java. One is local variable. Second one is instance variable. Third one is class or static variables. First one is class variable Java. My class name is variable Java. Here I am giving int instance underscore variable equal to 50. Why I have told this instance variable already we have discussed. Don't forget the definition. These are the definitions which will be asked frequently in your interviews. What is instance variable? The variable which is declared inside the class outside the main method. You see here? Inside the class. For example, here if you see, here if you see inside the class, my class name is variable Java. Inside the class, this instance where variable has been declared with the data type int, but it is outside the method. Here main method is not there, but it is outside the main method, so that it is called instance variable. Static int, static what? This is static variable. Why it is called static variable? Inside the class, but as it is representing with the keyword static. It is representing with the, if you write instead of this static, if you write int static what equal to 100 means it is instance variable. But before this, if you use the keyword static means it is static variable. Okay. Next, inside the method I have written int local where underscore var equal to 90. So inside the method, if you write any variable, that is called local variable. Okay. So these are the three kinds of variables which is used in Java, which is the most frequently asked question in interviews. Now we will discuss about this three variables. Already I told you. So local variables can be declared within the methods, constructors or blocks. Constructor is a new thing. Already you would have studied in C++. Anyway, here we will discuss again. Local variables are created when the method, constructor or block is entered, and the variable will be destroyed when once it exists the method, constructor or block. Access modifiers can be used for local variables because defined within the method. Access specifiers you have no, anything you can use. With next, local variable can be declared within the block constructor or again and again the same point. But what you should remember, local variable means the variable which is declared inside the class or inside the method, block or constructors. Whenever it will be till when this constructor or block or method exists, the variables are alive. Okay. Instance variable are declared inside the class but outside the method or constructor. Because in that program I told main method, but here any method or any constructor, but inside the class, outside the method or constructor, that is called instance variable. Okay. Instance variables are created when object is created. Once you are, for example, if you are writing student S1 equal to new student of, if you give, immediately that instance variable will be created. Okay. Access modifiers you can give for that instance variable. Class or static variables means class Java variables also referred to as a static variables. That means class Java variables and declared with the keyword static. If you are not declared with the keyword static, that is considered instant variable. If you write the keyword static in front of that variable, that will be considered as a static variable. But it is outside the method, constructor or the block. Okay. So only one replica of a class variable is created. How many objects you have created, not an issue. Only one replica of a class variable can be created. Static variables are stored in static memory. Already I told about heap memory. When you are creating a object, it will be stored in heap memory. Like that, when you are creating a static variable, it will be stored in static memory. Your Java memory portion only divided into number of types of memory, heap memory, static memory, like that. Okay. Next important point about the static variables is static variables, when you take, they are created while the program begins. When the program begins, important one is you are writing your program from class. For example, first line what we have written, public class student, then open in, we have declared some variables. So after 10th line also your main method you can give. Your main method, you have number of classes. The arrangement of the Java program I am telling. First you have written one class, that is student. Some business logic you have written. Second class you have written teacher. Some business logic you have written. Third class you have written library. Some business logic you have written. Fourth class you have written college. Inside that fourth class you have written main method. Inside the fourth class also you have given some instance variable, constructors, methods. At last you have written your main method. Inside main method some business logic you have written. So this is the flow of the program you have written. But how it will be executed means, even though your main method is in the fourth class in your flow of the program, and in the fourth class it is on the last 3-4 line before the ending of the program also, always your execution of the program will be started from main method. That main method is, you have 10 classes or 100 classes. Among that 100 classes, any one class only main method should be written. That 100th class, if you are written the main method on the 100th line of that class also, your execution will be started from the main method only, because these classes are having interconnection with some main method. So automatically wherever you are in need, what are the variables you are in need, you can utilize. That is not an issue. But you please remember, this is also one of the interview questions, where your main execution will be started. So always the Java program execution will be started from the main method. Public static void means string of arguments, open bracket. There only your execution will start. From there, it has a interconnection so that the program will be executed. So don't forget, your program, Java program execution will be started from main method. Okay. So that they are saying static variables are created while the program begins and destroyed while the system stops. Okay, this is about static variable. Don't forget, we have discussed three kinds of variable: instance variable or next local variable, and static or class variable. Next, Java operators. Operators, you people are familiar with the operators, same operators only. Here also we are going to use additional operator, this one arithmetic operators like first addition, plus, subtraction, minus, star, slash. But in this, plus, minus, star are only used as an arithmetic operator, but plus is used as the two ways it will be used. That's why I told plus operator is considered as an operator, overloading operator. Plus is used as an addition operator, and it is used as a string concatenation operator. Okay, so what is the use of operator? Just I'll refresh. An operator is used to perform an operation uh, over one or more operands. So A plus B, if you see equal to A plus B, A and B are operands, plus is an operator. You would have studied about this operands operator in your data structures. So just you refresh. So operator is a character that represents the action. For example, plus is an arithmetic operator that is used to represent addition. Okay, Java operators use in within a class. So these are the types of operators: arithmetic operators, assignment operators, auto increment, plus plus, minus minus. Java operators, assignment operator is what? Equal to. Okay. Logical operators, what? And, or, not. Comparison operator, what is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Okay, not equal to. Bitwise operator, single and, single or. Okay. What are the statements? Okay, if statement, if else statement, if else statement, nested if statement, switch statement. There is no difference between C++ statements and Java statements. Same kind of syntax only. So we can say here, I wanted to tell you one point. Java, if you say Java, uh, take the syntax from C and OOPS concepts from C++. It is a mixture. Syntax, for example, same syntax what you have used for if statement. What is the syntax for if statement in C? If condition. If it is true, what that body of the if statement will be executed. Otherwise, it will come out from the loop. Same only you can use in Java. Okay, no need to spend more time in the same, so that I can say syntax of C and concepts of C++. For example, inheritance. Okay, so concepts have been taken from C and C++, and we form with some additional features they have developed Java. one example we will see. So before so now I'll wind up this video. Next video I will continue with the examples of statements. Okay, thank you so much.